But for whatever the reason, we're lined up this way. But I did say to some of you there would be potentially more than one of our former great players that we're going to honor. This is a particularly important time for us in the Ring of Honor because it's the first time that we've had the Ring of Honor and the celebration and the recognition in this new stadium. So this is a first. You're here to kind of celebrate the rich history of the Cowboys, and I do want to welcome the three newest members of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. I'm well aware that there's a lot of perspectives when it comes to having a player go in our Ring of Honor. I will tell you that with Drew Pearson sitting here beside me today, Tex Ram is smiling. I know he is. His thoughts about the Ring of Honor, and he's the man who started it, was to make it very exclusive. And please keep it exclusive. And he said, when someone goes in there, I would hope that people would say, Dallas Cowboy. That's a Dallas Cowboy. And that seems obvious, but as we find ourselves here in 2011, there's some things to think about. All three of these have the highest regard from you, and I do respect and do get input from you, the people that tell what's the stories of what's going on with the Cowboys and the NFL, and I'm talking about you, the media, from our fans, their teammates, the men who coached them, and the men who competed against them. There's no such thing as a right way to do this in my mind, but it would be wrong not to take all of that into consideration. Roger Staubach recently told me that he wouldn't have been as successful as a quarterback. He said, if you know what Michael Irvin was for Troy, he said, well, that's what Drew Pearson was for me. Roger Staubach's words were very meaningful to me in sharing with me his perspective of what Drew Pearson meant to the success of the Dallas Cowboys and his success. That was good enough for me right there. Charles, I've said it once and I've said it 1,000 times. And we had great players and we couldn't have gotten there without them. But we couldn't spell Super Bowl until we got your pressure on the other side of the ball. And when we did get it, that helped us evolve into an experience that fans as well as your teammates as well as someone from my perspective would have that we never could have dreamed would have felt like we felt to have those great years. So Charles Haley, the only man that has ever had 5 Super Bowl rings, I hope there's 6 and the other one be the Hall of Fame ring. After we have you here in the Ring of Honor, you deserve it. You deserve it. Larry came to our preseason game last week. We got a chance to talk about this, but we talked about several things. But what you would have been impressed if you could have walked with me into our dressing room, and I was with Larry, and we walked through and talked to players, and you could hear behind us as we walked through the players that we have now, the young players saying, man, Larry Allen. Larry Allen. We walked into the coaches' room where they were dressing, and those coaches that were there, for the most part, had never coached him, were in awe. All they could say is, Larry Allen. I've watched you and compete against you. You're the best. You're the very, very best. What you need to know about Larry is the man and what he is when he wasn't on that field. Now, he was something to deal with. We actually thought that we were going to move Larry to left tackle permanently from guard. We drafted Flozell Adams, but when Larry went out there at left tackle one time, he made All-Pro out there as well. But you can imagine good luck once we found out we could operate with Flozell. Good luck on getting Larry out of that guard position and doing what he did for us in the middle and what he did for us in his pulling. But with no further ado, I want you to join me and we'll have comments from each of our inductees, and then they'll answer any questions I'm sure that you might have. But with no further ado, I want you to join me and literally thousands upon thousands of fans that are smiling, and let's know that old Tex is smiling up there too, to welcome our three newest inductee in our Ring of Honor: Larry Allen, Charles Haley, and Drew Pearson. Drew, why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, thank you. It's truly an honor and a privilege to receive this recognition. I'm blessed. When Jerry told me, I told him that I waited a long time to hear those words. You're going to be a member of the Ring of Honor. And you think about it, you wonder how you're going to feel, but nothing compares to the feeling when you actually hear those words. And for me, it just was a feeling of elation, satisfaction, and I just appreciate the honor to join the 15 players and executives like Tex Schramm, and I know, as Jerry said, he's smiling because I'm one of his guys. And I remember I almost didn't make the Cowboys, and because my legs are so skinny that the doctors weren't going to pass me on my physical. And I remember seeing out of the corner of my eye Tex Schramm sitting in the corner of that room going through that physical, and the doctor looked at him, and Tex nodded his head, yes. And that's how I passed my physical. And from then on, things started happening to me because I was with the Dallas Cowboys. And to be able to play with the great players that I played with is probably the only reason I'm here. To be able to be coached by the great Tom Landry is probably the only reason I'm here. Because in football, it's a team game. You can't do it yourself. You got to have great players around you. You got to have great coaching to support you and prepare you to go out there to do what you got to do. And I had that with the Dallas Cowboys. Just think of the quarterback, Roger Staubach for 8 years and Danny White for 3 years. But it really didn't matter. Even when Clinton Longley came in, I still cut balls from him. But anyway, this is a great honor. It comes at a good time for me. Everybody says, Drew, you should have been in before. I don't really care about that, because now is the time. Now is the right time, because this is God's time. And this is a good time for me, because now my kids are grown enough to really appreciate this, understand what it really means. And then my grandkids are old enough now to understand what it means and appreciate it. So this is the right time, and I am very thankful and very honored and very privileged to join this elite group of members of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. And I want to thank Jerry Jones and the Jones family for this opportunity to be inducted. And the thing, is that my cutoff?
Yeah, shut up.
And the thing I told Jerry is, I don't want to, hope not to embarrass him, but, I told him I had a lot of respect for him and the things that he's done since taking over the Dallas Cowboys. Certainly has taken the Dallas Cowboys to another level. The star, the brand means so much more than it's ever been, so much more than we could ever imagine. And I know Tex Schramm, he's smiling about me going in this ring because Jared did keep it exclusive, but he's also smiling about where the Dallas Cowboys are today. But I told Jerry I have more respect for him for what he's done with his family and how they are all a part of what he does with the Dallas Cowboys, how he created that legacy for them. And as men, as people, we all try to strive to have that for each one of our families, each one of our kids. And Jerry has done it, and I have a lot of respect for that. But also his charitable efforts for giving back in so many different ways through his family and through the Dallas Cowboys. Tremendous respect for that. So with that said, I'm just happy to be a member of the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor, and I feel truly, truly blessed. And I want to thank Jerry Jones, the Jones family, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening. I guess it's evening. This is a great honor for me. First I want to give honor to God for give me the ability to play football. I just think back to when I got to the airport, and never before in my life have I seen an owner come meet me at the airport. And Jerry laid out his vision for the Dallas Cowboys, and from that day on, I knew what Jerry was about. I knew that whatever he does he's not gonna fail because not putting in the effort, not putting in the time, not putting his money where his mouth is. He may fail because other people don't stand up and do what they say they're gonna do and be accountable. But my saying has always been, after I heard President Kennedy was, it's not what I can do for the Dallas Cowboys, but what the it's not what the Dallas Cowboys can do for me, but what I can do for the Dallas Cowboys. And that was my mantra. And then for my teammates, guys, is one thing is that I try to let the guys know that I'll be there for them no matter what, through hell and hot water. And I know I put a lot of teammates through hell, a lot of coaches through hell, and owners, but Jerry stuck with me. And I know me and Jimmy had a couple run-ins, and Jerry stood up and said, Charles gonna be here. So from that day on, Jerry couldn't do no wrong in my life, man. And he's always elevated himself around me because he always went out and got the talent so we could win. So he is a true champion, and I thank him and his family for all the love. They supported me when my daughter was sick. They stepped up, and nobody else did. But he stepped up, and his family stepped up. So my love, my admiration for the Jones family is, I can't even put it in words. But the guy to my left that I play with, guys, man, I'm going to tell you, you don't know. You guys might have wrote how great he is. I know how great he is because I played with him from the beginning. And when he came out that day, it was a great learning experience because I whooped his butt. But that was the best part because you know what? We stayed out to practice. We worked. Hey, I knew what he had inside of him, and he wanted it out. And, God, he was a great competitor, guys. No prisoners. We took no prisoners. And I'm not going to hold any excuses for my life and what I've done. All my mistakes, I step on them. And so I'm about 10 foot tall. I came in the world about 6'4.5". Now I'm 10 foot tall because all the mistakes I've made. But the greatest thing I ever done was come to the Dallas Cowboys and win 3 Super Bowls and be a part of something great. And thank y'all for having me today. Thank you again.
Thank you, Charles. Congratulations.
This will be a little shorter than Charles. I'd like to thank Jerry Jones and his family. Jerry's helped me on the field, off the field, and I love it, really do. And I had great teammates. I had Nate Newton, Mark Tuane, Eric Williams, Derek Kennard, Mark Stepnowski, Ray Donalds. My rookie year, I sat back and I watched. And that's all I just watched. And that's what I want these young guys to do. Is watch the players that are great players. Just do what they do. Thank you.
Holla.
Congratulations, Larry, and they'll take your questions.
Have you decided when the ceremonies are going to be? Well, the ceremonies, are they going to be together or separate?
No, they'll be together. We'll have one ceremony. We'll have a great function the night before and have all of our teammates and all of the people that are in the Ring of Honor. And it will be when we play Seattle. We'll honor them the day that we play Seattle here. That's November the 6th.
I said, I think I'm busy, actually.
I was going to drag you. Go. Sure. You want the 3? Oh, I thought you were saying what? Okay, I asked Drew. Drew, I've already been asked the question. I asked Drew, which side would you like to go on? You can pick your side. It's like picking your tombstone. teased him. And we both kind of felt funny and said, no, that's not appropriate here. But I asked Drew where he'd like to be, and why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, I said with all due respect to the triplets, Troy, Emmett, and Michael being on this side of this great stadium, I would like to be put on the side with the players that I'm most familiar with, because I played with a lot of those guys, and a lot of those guys that I didn't play with provided the inspiration for me to want to be a member of the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor every time I stepped on the field to represent the Cowboys. So my preference is to be on this side with the other Cowboy legends from my era and before me.
I didn't ask Charles and Larry.
Well, I'll answer that. I don't care as long as I'm in here. Hello. It don't matter. Hey, I'm in the house.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everyone. These guys will be available if you need them here. Just for the scrimmage, we'd like only the photographers, working photographers on the sideline. Everybody else up in the press box.
Thank you.